Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my updated foundation routine on how I achieve like a flawless face. I have to do air quotes because there's nothing flawless about all this. This is basically like my foundation routine when I just want my face to look flawless, if I'm taking pictures at all, if I'm going out, which is never an option or never a thing ever. But yeah, sometimes I do this when I go to work too, when I just want my face to look like perfect. I want it to look porcelain. I don't want any acne showing through. I don't want no scars showing through, nothing like that. And this is a very long lasting base, so if you do suffer with like oily skin or combination skin, then these are definitely some products that I would recommend to you guys, because I do have oily skin as well as acne and acne scars. So when I do want my face to be like perfect and like flawless and nothing showing through, and I just have like a clean slate to work with, these are the products that I kind of go for and that I would recommend to anyone that is looking to cover acne. Another thing that I am doing in this video, which I haven't actually done until recently, is color correcting my acne. So if you guys don't know what color correcting, I will touch on it in this video. But it's basically a green concealer, so if you do suffer with like red acne that is kind of like inflamed, using a green concealer will kind of like counteract the redness so that you don't have to use as much foundation, and in the long run that's good, because who wants to have like a cakey face all day? Not me. Not me. So yeah, if you guys are interested in how I get my flawless face routine, and how I cover my acne scars and everything like that, then just keep watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe down below, as well as hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you will be notified every time I upload a new video. But other than that, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Hey guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Too Faced HangoveRX Face Primer. This is a really nice hydrating primer, so I apply this all over my face, and then I go in with a second primer. This one is a poreless primer from Becca. This one is super matte, so if you do suffer with oily skin, I highly recommend this primer. I just put it in my center areas like my nose and a little bit on my cheeks, just to help the oil and the pores. So moving on to color correcting, I'm just going to take this LA Girl Cosmetics Green Concealer. This is something that I haven't really done before, and I just started recently doing it, and I've noticed that it helps so much with my redness from my acne and my acne scars, because I used to be that person that would apply so much foundation to cover like one pimple, and my face would end up looking really cakey and really heavy, and it just didn't look good. So if you do suffer with acne scars and acne, I would highly recommend color correcting, because it just saves you a lot of foundation and your face doesn't look heavy at all. So moving on to foundation, I'm going in with the Huda Beauty and the Dermacol Foundation. The Dermacol is super full coverage, as well as the Huda Beauty one, but with the Dermacol one, you literally need like a pea size amount, and it'll cover like your whole entire face. So if you feel like you need extra coverage, it's a really great foundation to cover acne and scars. So when applying my foundation, I like to apply it with a brush first. So this brush I think is from Sephora, and I'm just using this to pat in the foundation. I never recommend swiping or swirling with the brush, because if you do color correcting underneath, it's just gonna like move all of that green concealer, and you're not gonna get coverage where you want the coverage to be. So I always recommend going in with a brush first, and then I always go in with a sponge to pick up any excess product. That way my face doesn't look cakey, and there's not just foundation laying all over the skin. It soaks up any of the excess. So I always go in with a brush and then get the coverage where I want it to be, and then just start buffing it into my skin. So here I'm going in with the Real Technique sponge, just to pick up any of the excess foundation that might be laying on the skin. This will ensure that my foundation doesn't look cakey, and all of the excess will be soaked up. Going in with concealer, I'm taking the Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the color Fair Neutral, and I'm just going to apply that underneath my eyes, down the center of my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and my forehead. I always like to bring my concealer to the center of my face. I just feel like it highlights my face, and it gives the skin more of like a three-dimensional look when you don't have like highlight in the center of your face. It kind of just looks weird if you just have like really light concealer underneath the eyes. So I always recommend to even it out underneath or throughout the face. So then I take my Morphe sponge and I'm just blending that in, and then I always go in with a sponge underneath my eyes. I just feel like it blends out my concealer so beautifully and so easy and fast, and it picks up any of the excess that might be laying on the skin so that it doesn't look cakey. Now I'm taking the Maybelline Fit Me powder, the loose setting powder. I'm just going to take that damp sponge and I'm just going to blend out any of the creases underneath my eyes. And then I pick up the powder and then I just set the concealer with the same sponge. This powder is so beautiful. It has a really nice, beautiful smoothing effect. So your under eyes just look so like airbrushed and like you have no pores. It's just a great setting powder. So then I just take a big powder brush and I just use the same powder and I just set the rest of my skin. Me personally, I am oily, so I like to powder my face. I just feel like my blush and bronzer and contour go on a lot smoother when I set my face. So now I'm going in with a second powder. This is the Lancome Absolue powder. This powder is such a beautiful luminous setting powder, and I just use it with a damp sponge and I just apply it all over my skin. You don't have to go in with the powder just all over your face. You can use it at the top of your cheeks, but I like to go all over because I love that luminous glowy effect that it gives my skin. So then I'm taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and I'm just going to contour my cheekbones. As per usual, I'm just using a MAC brush, but I will link it down below which one I'm using. So I'm just sculpting out my cheekbones, and then I do bring that same contour on my forehead just to even out the contour so that we don't have just darkness in our cheekbones, we have it throughout the face. And then I just apply a little bit of that on the sides of my nose just to kind of sculpt the nose, because I feel like if I don't put anything there, my nose just kind of gets lost. Then I'm just taking a e.l.f. brush, I believe, and I think I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just helping blend that contour out because it was a little harsh. So then I'm going in with the Morphe palette. This is the 9N palette, I think, and I'm just going to apply some blush. I'm just using a really nice pink blush. These blushes are so pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way, so I highly recommend this blush palette. For highlighter, I'm going to take the MAC Hyper Real palette. This is such a beautiful highlighting palette from MAC. I'm obsessed with how creamy and buttery these highlights are. They're amazing. So I'm just applying that on the tops of my cheekbones. If I did have a blemish like on the top of my cheekbone, I would not apply highlight. I would have to skip it because highlight just accentuates texture. So if you do have any texture at certain areas on your face, I would definitely skip highlight. I know it's such a hard thing to do, but honestly, it just makes it look so much worse. But today, luckily, I did not have any active acne on my cheekbones, so I did apply highlight there. The last thing you want to do is make sure that you set your face with a matte finishing spray or some type of setting spray, because it'll just help melt all those powders into your skin and make it look a lot more natural. So here you have the final look with all of my makeup done. It just looks so like airbrushed and flawless, so this is definitely my go-to look when I want my skin to look perfect. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this updated kind of flawless foundation routine. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!